Hello friends, how are you today? I'm so excited because I want to share with you an idea that came to me about these repeating energies that keep coming between around 9:30ish in the morning and 2130. So I had an idea. I was thinking about what could cause a wave pattern like this. And when I say a wave pattern, what I mean is this series of energy repeating like this. And, there's also the question of where is it coming from? And someone in the comments had linked me to Mr. MBB333 channel, and he had talked about a volcano, but that volcanic activity had started around the same time. I thought that was cool. Props to Mr. MBB333. And I thought I would toss in another idea here. And this idea revolves around how waves occur. How would a set of waves like this occur? And when I say wave, I mean this entire series between these hours. So I'm counting this as a flow of energy because it keeps reappearing. I've been calling it a vertical wave of these lines in the chart, and they shift in their presentation, but they're continually repeating at the same time. We could look at this as I showed on my video yesterday, we could look at this as one wave, and then it repeats, and then it repeats. Yesterday, I put out the idea that it could be a series of energies going around the planet on a repeating basis periodically, and that as it goes around the planet, it might change slightly in how it presents on the chart. So here's my next idea about what could be causing this. This is so exciting. Could I please request that you like the video if it resonates with you, that you subscribe to my channel, whether you're on YouTube or Rumble. That would be really super great. It really helps me. And I wanted to let you know that I'm having an Elevating Forgiveness seminar this coming weekend, August 20th and 21st, Saturday and Sunday. It'll start at 8 a.m. Pacific time both days and probably go for 3 hours each day. Might go longer depending on the number of people. And so if you want to learn to reclaim your energies from previous difficult or traumatic relationships or experiences, the past lifetimes, whatever it happens to be, family members, you're welcome to come join me. I'm really, really excited about this, and the details are down below, and the link is down below as well. So we'll get you signed up, and it'll be a small Skype group. It's a kind of an intimate group. I had just a class on this last week where we touched on the materials, and the participants, I think, had some wonderful experiences. So I'm really excited to do this again with you, but in a deeper way where you get to engage with me a little bit more. Okay, I'm going to present the idea here, and then I'm going to show you some images to work up to how to show you why the idea might make sense, and then present it again after. And if you make videos in this area and talk about the Schumann, you're welcome to use the two images that I'm going to show here, this one and this one. Just attribute me. That would be great. Just say where you got it from, and maybe even link to my channel. That'd be awesome. But maybe we can collaborate that way, because I have part of an idea, you might have part of an idea, another person might have part of an idea, and then together we could figure it out. So wonders may occur. Here's the idea. The idea is that what if there's an activating event of some sort in the cosmos or in the solar system, but somewhere outside of Earth? What if there's an activating event in space? And after the initial burst of energy, what happens is you get waves, and the waves can become periodic at some point as they ripple outward. The energy of the event, as it ripples outward, there's a point at which the waves can become almost evenly spaced. Sorry about that. And it's 11:11 while I'm saying this. It's kind of interesting. So I'm going to show you images that, so you can visualize it, because I like to make this sciencey stuff tangible, right? I like to make it something where we can say, oh, I can understand this for regular people, or, that makes sense to me, or I see where else I see this in my life, because a big part of my orientation is that if we could bring science concepts into our daily lives and understand some of the, quote, mystery behind some of these things, we could see that we engage with science every day. We engage with biology, chemistry, physics every day. And I feel that as human beings and in our society, that if we came to understand these concepts, they don't need to be so complicated, as you can tell in my approach, that's my approach, that if everyday people can start to understand some of these things and then apply the ideas in life, then you can have greater command over your life and then your world, right? Over your living situation, understanding how your body works, understanding how your energy works, and then you can accomplish more, or you can eventually be more satisfied within yourself. I know that learning about energy and how it works in my body has created changes in my life that were wonderful. And I live better now because I have these understandings. So that's me. That's my that's my soapbox, me and my soapbox about this, that we can bring this into our everyday lives and make it simple. Okay, so there's an activating event in space. The energy ripples outward at some point in the rippling outward of the energy, in the expansion of the waves. What happens is there gets to be a point where they're evenly spaced. There's a catching up as the energy moves away from the activating point, then they become evenly spaced, and then they start to dissipate. So then there's a lengthening out. So there's a lengthening of distance between the waves of energy rippling out from the activating event, both at the beginning and at the end. So then what I'm saying is, what if this set of energies that's occurring between like 9:30 a.m. and 21:30 p.m. every day on the chart for some period of time, what if there's been an activating event in space and then the waves are passing over us? Number one, there's an activating event in space. Number two, the waves happen to pass by Earth. And then number three, we are living in the time and place in space where the evenly spaced energy waves happen to have occurred. And then number four, that this energy is perceivable from 0 to 40 hertz, because that's what the chart measures. So those are the four ideas that come together to make this theory, right? And so, and the time of spacing happens to be, number 5 happens to be 1 Earth day. I'm not saying this is exactly or definitely what's happening, but I'm saying, hey, this is a theory it could be a theory of what could be. Maybe this is what could be happening. Is this what could be happening? Because it would kind of make sense, actually. It's one of the things that could be happening, because I've been thinking about this for as many of us have been who've been looking at the Schumann so much. I've been thinking about like what could cause this set of energies at the same time every day in sort of a wave-like form, right? I mean, there's many of the white rods and they look slightly different each day, but that's okay, because you'll see when we, it's okay that there's slight variations within each day, because you have to understand there's also if it's from a cosmic event, there's also the regular Earth energies that are also showing on the chart. I talked about that in my last video. So let's get into it. It's very exciting. Okay, so I want to show you a couple of pictures and talk through these images, and then we'll build up to what might be occurring here. So we're going to talk through a couple pictures and videos. Okay, so the first one, this is a water drop. What happens is that when the water drop drops in and then it may bounce back up, right? And when it bounces back up, one drop may bounce back up or multiple drops may bounce back up. And you really have to slow down the video to be able to see this. So what happens is you have an initial event here, and that makes a shape. It's a rounded shape because the drop is rounded. And then you'll see that it makes its initial drop, then there's an initial shape, then this spreads out into a broader shape. And there might be some ripples between the initial drop and where the wave pattern actually starts. In this space here, there might be a wave or two, you can see it here. But as the energy moves out from the initial action, the initial activation, what you see here is it starts to get periodic in a way that's very even. Isn't that interesting? If more than one droplet drops off, it may ping into the water somewhere here and then make an additional pattern. Like, for example, you see here that there's kind of a waviness. Now, because of the photography, we don't know if something interfered with that part of the wave, of the rings, or if that's just a reflection, okay? Because this photograph is very likely edited in some way. So the key here is that after the initial event, there becomes a periodic wave pattern until the whole thing dissipates. So now let's look at another photo. So here's an example of that idea of the wave. So you have these waves coming in, and here the wave shape change. Maybe there's something under the water that caused a slight shift there. But what you can see is that at some point here, right, before the waves come up onto the beach, they're evenly spaced. Same thing here. Okay, so this is showing that even at some point after the initial activation, whether it's the moon's forces on the ocean or a drop of water into a lake or pond or some other action that creates a wave of energy, and I'm using water because we can't see the waves with our eyes for the Schumann, so I need something tangible to show you because that's what I'm good at. I'm good at showing people the non-physical in a way that they can experience. And actually, this is what we do in the human energy workshop and in my other classes, or that we'll do in this seminar on the weekend. Is I work with people so that they get what I call a felt experience, or a known experience, or a sensed experience, where you experience what is it like, to feel my own energy. Okay, so now to get back to this idea here, I'm trying to illustrate. I'm going to use this to talk about the Schumann waves, but I want to give you something that you can visually connect with and that resonates with you. So at some point, the waves are periodically spaced, evenly spaced, and that's what this is showing here. Now I want to show you a couple of videos. I've slowed this down so we can watch it together. It's somewhat mesmerizing, isn't it? So you can see here that as the raindrops fall into this water, that there's the point at which the drop falls, and then there's a movement out from the activation point, and then you have the ripples that go out from the disturbance in the water, and those ripples at some point become evenly spaced, and then they dissipate, right? And then before it dissipates, the evenness may break up or not. Okay, it depends if there's something else present in the way, and it probably depends on the energy to a certain extent. Okay, so this is rain falling. This is a very heavy rain falling on a car windshield, so you'll see the wiper blade go by. But you'll see the same thing, right? You have the activation point, and then ripples out, the rings around the initial drop after a certain period of time away from the activation point, as the water moves out, it starts to ripple evenly. This one's good because it's slower. And you can see the evenly spaced ripples. It's pretty cool, huh? Okay, I finally found the one I really wanted to show you. It's cool because in this video you can see the waves come together evenly spaced, but it will shift. Like, see here, this wave hasn't come into that even spacing yet, and it may be because this rock here is affecting it, but you can see back here, see 1, 2, 3. You see how these waves are evenly spaced? I may be getting a little bit, nerd alert, I love looking at this stuff, so just hold on. Just bear with me for a sec. Yeah, see, like here. See how evenly spaced these are? 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 right there. 1, 2. Now see here, this wave here that's breaking against the land, and this wave is coming into an evened, it will even out as the camera draws away. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if there's an activation event, right? At first, the waves aren't spaced evenly. At first, there's more distance, and then there's a point at which they come together, they're evenly spaced, and then they that spacing again elongates. But anyway, let's just watch this. Yeah, see here, see how that's further out, and then see how they come into similar distance from each other at some point. Right? But they have to come into alignment with each other. Isn't this beautiful? I actually have spent hours and hours looking at wave patterns, just sitting looking at the ocean. So it's, yeah, it's one of my favorites. I love doing that. I think we're good here. So this is what I'm saying. At the point at which the waves are evenly spaced, maybe this is what's happening on the Schumann, okay? That there was an activating event, and maybe, as Cliff High has been talking about, maybe these are strange energies from space. Maybe there was an activating event in the solar system or in the cosmos, and those ripples are now coming across, right? The energy is now coming across Earth. And we're at the point of experiencing that energy where the waves are equally spaced, right? And that's why the energy is showing up at the same time every day. And then in addition, and if you haven't seen my last video, I explained this in the last video, this component. In addition, there's normal stuff that is still happening, like right here, when this wave occurred, okay, that's the normal stuff, okay? That's not the periodic wave that we're talking about, and I explained why in my last video. And actually, this white rod here is another one of those where it combined. It just, coincidentally, it came in at the same time as this periodic group of vertical waves is coming in. So that is one possible explanation for why these are happening. Now, what would the cosmic event or solar system event be? I don't know, right? I don't know. We can look at what that might be. I've done a little bit of research on it, but it's hard to know. You know, like, for example, okay, there's a star in the Orion system that's expected to supernova at some point, and it's sending out these periodic bursts of energy. Maybe it's like that. You know, Uranus was sending out bursts of energy some time ago. Maybe it's like that. Could be something else. When I did a search on what might be transmitting or what kind of space occurrence may have occurred, that's just something that has come up. I mean, could be from some other type of body as well, or event as well. So I thought I would share it with you because I thought it was kind of cool and interesting. So thanks for watching the waves with me.